Hi everyone, Aaron here for Zollotech, and this is the OnePlus 7 Pro. And this actually came out today, unless you're in a major city like New York City or LA or Chicago. It's available today, Friday, at T-Mobile in the United States. And it offers a lot for the price. So let's go ahead and unbox it. We'll take a look at what's in the box, set it up, and then see what it's like to use and kind of get a first impressions of it overall. And thanks to my brother-in-law for giving me this nice knife. I needed a nice knife in order to unbox things, so I appreciate that. And let's go ahead and open it up. Now this comes in at $669, $699, or $749, depending on which model you get and which specification. So let's see what we've got inside here. And this is a pretty big phone, and I'll show you a comparison in just a moment. So let's take a look at what we've got in here. So we get a case along with it. It's just a simple clear TPU case, so that's kind of nice. And we've got some documentation in here, it looks like. We've got a SIM card removal tool. We've got a SIM card if you don't have one already. And then we've got a welcome start guide and some stickers in our in a different language, or maybe our warranty as well. So some stickers here as well. So let's take the phone out, and before we look at this, it's actually got some pretty good weight to it. Let's see what we've got here. So this is the new Warp charger. This is pretty big, but it should charge at 30 watts. So that's pretty nice here. 5 volts, you can see here. I don't know if you can see that. And let's see what we've got here. I think we just have a cable for the charger. There we go. And this looks like it's just a cable for the charger, USB type A to USB-C. And it's got these little rubber covers on there. So you have to use this in order to warp charge it, but it's just USB-C. So let's go ahead and unwrap it here. So this is the Nebula Blue color. In fact, they only had a couple of these nearby, and there's also a mirror gray, but that's kind of a generic color. So I really wanted this Nebula Blue that reflects light. It's pretty nice. Let's take a look around the outside. So we'll talk about the specs in just a moment, but on the right side, we've got our power button here. We've also got a little switch for silent and our different vibrate modes. On the back, we've got a camera. We'll talk more about those in a moment. 3 cameras. On the top, we have our pop-up camera and a microphone. And then on the other side, we've got a little volume rocker. And then on the bottom, we've got our SIM card tray, USB-C, microphone, and a speaker. Now let's pop out the SIM card tray. I do not believe there is expandable storage. There's a little O-ring around there, but it looks like we've got a nano SIM that will fit in there. It does not look like it's dual SIM for the United States, at least. And that's it. Glass front and back, really nice. No wireless charging though. So let's take a look at the specs. We'll go over all of them, and then we'll power it on and see what it's like to set up and to use the phone itself. So internally, we have a Snapdragon 855 with an Adreno 640 GPU. It comes in 6, 8, or 12 gigabytes of RAM, and this particular model is 8 gigabytes of RAM. It's got 128 gigabytes for a base storage, but this is the 256 gigabyte model, and it also has UFS 3 storage, so it should be a lot faster. On the back, we have 3 different cameras, the first being a 48 megapixel f1.6 aperture, and that's just your standard lens, with an 8 megapixel telephoto at f2.4, and then you've got a 16 megapixel ultra wide at f2.2. It has a 117 degree field of view. And then we've also got a dual LED flash. The front camera is a 16 megapixel f2.0 aperture with the ability to record 1080p 30. Internally, we have a 4,000 milliamp hour battery. Now let's go ahead and boot it up, and we'll talk about the display as it's turning on. Wait for it to turn on here. There we go. I felt it move a little bit. It's 6.67 inches corner to corner, and it's 3120 by 1440 with 560 pixels per inch. It's a fluid AMOLED display that should have a 90 Hz refresh rate and also supports the P3 wide color gamut. Now the bad thing about it is there's no headphone jack and there's no wireless charging. Other than that, it's pretty well loaded. So let's go ahead and set this up. So we'll go ahead and hit start. We'll agree to the terms. We'll hit user experience. You can join this or you don't have to. System stability program. push notifications, and then connect to a mobile network. I'll skip this for now and do that later and connect it to Wi-Fi for now. While we're waiting for it to check for updates, let me show you a quick size comparison between 3 different devices. So here I have an iPhone XS Max, so it gives you an idea of size, and then also an S10 Plus. So it's a little bit taller than the S10 Plus or the XS Max, and it looks like it's similar width to the others. So it's very close in size to the S10 Plus. So now it's asking me if I want to copy data, and I'll do that a little bit later. But in general, I want to copy information either from my iPhone or my S10 Plus, and then we can sign in with Google. Again, I'll do this later so we can take a quick look at the OS and see what Oxygen OS is like. So we'll go ahead and hit accept. And now we have an under the screen fingerprint sensor. So let me just set up a quick password here. And let's set up the fingerprint. So this has an under the screen fingerprint like the previous generation, but it's supposed to be bigger. And it's definitely faster to respond than, say, the S10 Plus when you're trying to set this up. Next, edge input. There we go. So it should be pretty quick to actually use that fingerprint reader. And then it says you've got the different gestures that are typical. I actually like the V gesture for the flashlight on the the OnePlus devices. And then we'll do double tap to wake. And I'll probably set those up later. Now here's screen calibration. This is vivid, natural, and advanced. And I actually prefer natural most of the time, but we'll leave it on vivid this time around. So this is actually a font selection, and you can see it says Roboto, or we can use the OnePlus font. And I actually like the Roboto font, which is stock Android. We'll disagree to the T-Mobile data collection, and here is the home screen. So that's the home screen, and it looks pretty nice. It's kind of interesting to have this giant display that is not impeded by any notches or infinity O's or anything like that. It's really nice. And this slider on the side is for silent, vibrate, and then ring, which I always appreciate. I don't know why they don't add that to more Android phones. Let's take a look at the camera quick. And if we flip the camera around, it pops out of the top. So that's kind of interesting there. We've got this little camera. We can push on it. It feels pretty strong though. Let's turn it around and it closes. Turn it back on and it pops back up. So it's a little magnetic motor that moves it back and forth. And then of course for the rear facing camera, we have wide and ultra wide and zoom. So that's pretty nice. And I'm imagining this is going to be very fast, just like it was with the OnePlus 6T. That was an incredibly fast device, and I really liked that. But I'll have to customize this over the next few days. And like I said, it is Oxygen OS. Let's take a look. And you can see here is the build number currently. I'll see if there's any updates, but it's 9.5.4 for Oxygen OS. And I'm not sure if this will be able to opt into the Android Q beta, but some of the other OnePlus phones can do that as well. So one thing that the OnePlus 7 Pro has that not many other Android phones have, or any iPhones, is a 90 Hertz refresh rate. And it's incredibly smooth when I'm going back and forth. If I bring over a Pixel 3 XL, I'm not sure you'll be able to see this, but there is a difference. And it's very slight, but there's just such a nice smoothness to this display. Something else that the OnePlus 7 Pro also offers is DC dimming. Now, I have to get an update first before this will be available, but that will allow the screen to be dimmed using DC power, or basically regulating the voltage instead of flickering the display. So traditionally OLEDs flicker the display to change the brightness and how you see it, and it can bother your eyes like it does myself. And this display actually has a feature where that will limit the flicker, so it should help a lot with this OLED, but I have to get an update to see that. So this is really nice. I really like this color, and I'll be using this over the next few days, probably as my main phone, just to see what it's like, and then I'll go from there. But let's see how the fingerprint reader is. Let's see. There we go. It's fast, but it didn't wake the screen up. So you have to wake the screen first, unlike the Samsung Galaxy. So I'll mess around with those settings later, but it's much faster than the Galaxy phones, but it is a little bit less secure, supposedly, because it's an image as opposed to ultrasonic. But these are the stock apps that are installed. And then if we scroll up, we've got the OnePlus community stuff, but nothing really too crazy other than a couple T-Mobile apps that come with it. And it says unlock. Your device is network locked. I'll be sure to unlock that since this is paid for outright. But other than that, it's a really nice phone. And like I said, I'll get it set up, get my apps customized to it. And let me know what you think in the comments below if there's anything specifically you want to see that you're not seeing elsewhere. I think the camera should be pretty interesting. They are Sony sensors and very high megapixels. And I'm more interested in the video camera myself since it will do 4K 60. But let me know in the comments below what you think. I'll try and link this wallpaper for you in the description as well. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe and like if you enjoyed the video. As always, thanks for watching. This is Aaron. I'll see you next time.